Hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode of Ignition Time. As Joe Manchin and Senator Bernie Sanders face off in the United States Senate over the fate of the American economy, President Biden is actually making some secret moves and he's enlisting some top CEOs, including the JP Morgan Chase CEO, Jamie Dimon, to try and pressure the Republicans on the debt limit. And there's also been some reporting that the Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell has essentially caved, and these are the words of Senator Elizabeth Warren from Massachusetts, on the debt limit. I'll explain what all this means and why it's significant to you. Welcome to our channel, everyone. My name is Dr. Nitin Chhoda with Ignition Time, and this right here is some information about me. You'll learn more about who I am, what my journey has been like, and why you should listen to me. And our channel, the Ignition Time channel, is one of the fastest growing channels on YouTube, where I cover important matters pertaining to the country, the economy, as well as our money. And I break it down for you, and I cut through all the BS that exists in our politics today. So what is actually going on? President Biden has actually reached out to financial and corporate leaders to get them to help him pressure Republicans to stop blocking efforts to suspend the U.S. debt ceiling. In fact, the president has warned that the United States government faces a first ever default that would tank the entire economy. President Biden said this: "We're going to be defaulting on a debt that would lead to self-inflicted wounds that would risk the market tanking and wiping out retirement savings. If they don't want to do the job, just get out of the way." That is what President Biden said about Republicans. In fact, the Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell offered to allow Democrats to raise the debt ceiling by a sufficient amount to make sure that the government could pay its bills and could cover its obligations until December, which essentially kicks the can down the road. Now, folks, I have to be honest with you. This is all posturing from both sides. This is all politics, because politics at the end of the day is about timing. It's about opportunity. It's about tribalism and perception. Both parties are trying to use this as an opportunity to posture. The party that is in control of the White House has the responsibility of raising the debt ceiling, and right now it's the Democrats. And then the opposition tries to huff and puff and try and pretend like it's a major issue, whereas in reality, since the 1960s, the country has raised the debt ceiling 80 times. Yes, you heard that right, 80 times. And a majority of that time it was done in a bipartisan way. So, who was invited by President Biden to attend meetings with him to try and pressure Republicans? We're talking about Citigroup Inc.'s Jane Fraser. We're talking about Bank of America Corporation's Brian Moynihan, and the JP Morgan Chase CEO Jamie Dimon, and also Adina Friedman, who's the president and CEO of NASDAQ. In addition, Greg Hayes, the CEO of Raytheon Technologies Corporation, Charlie Opler, president of the National Association of Realtors, Joanne Jenkins, CEO of AARP, Puneet Renjan, Global CEO of Deloitte, and Pat Gelsinger, CEO of Intel Corp, were also invited. Here's a comment from Fraser. "Defaulting is going to cause lasting damage to the credibility of the United States with investors and in financial markets around the world. We just cannot wait until the last minute to resolve this. We are, simply put, playing with fire right now." Now, I can tell you that the federal government is extremely concerned about the potential first ever default on its debt. It's almost like you not being able to pay your credit card bills and defaulting on your credit card, you not being able to pay your mortgage and eventually having a lien on your house, having the bank take over on your house, you having to be subjected to foreclosure. Think of that happening to the United States government. That could essentially tank the entire stock market, that could tank home prices, that could lead to a capitulation in our economy as we know it. And this is what Jamie Dimon said: "We should never even get this close. There are huge economic costs already being borne by companies." And he says lawmakers should get rid of the debt ceiling to avoid future disputes. In fact, the president and CEO of NASDAQ, Adina Friedman, said that financial markets would react, I quote, "very, very negatively if the ceiling is not suspended or increased," warning that, I quote, "we are starting to experience elevated volatility in the markets because of the uncertainty." In fact, Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen actually joined President Biden at this in-person meeting, and she said that the country will exhaust all measures to avert breaching the debt limit around October 18th, meaning that lawmakers have less than 2 weeks to solve the problem. Here's a quote from Janet Yellen. It's unnecessary and it must be avoided at all costs. Congress must address the debt limit immediately. Now, the Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer was going to make his third attempt to proceed with the measure suspending the nation's debt ceiling until December 2022, and Republicans said that they would filibuster the legislation and therefore it was going to be a dead end. So the Senate delayed that vote in the aftermath of McConnell's short-term debt increase offer, with Republicans and Democrats expected to come to a consensus on this. So basically what they're doing, folks, is saying, hey, let's agree to essentially extend the debt ceiling until December, and after December, we'll start arguing about it again. It's almost like saying, hey, I can't pay my credit card bill or I can't pay my mortgage right now, but just give me an increased limit on my credit card. Just give me a little bit more time until December, and then in December, let's all fight about it all over again, which is basically what's happening, which is all the posturing that's happening right now. So what do the Republicans want? The Republicans have been demanding that Democrats raise the debt ceiling using a process called budget reconciliation, which, by the way, is something that the Republicans will not be able to filibuster. But the problem, and this is the political game being played by the Republicans, the problem is that reconciliation rules would require Democrats to raise the ceiling to a specific amount rather than simply suspending it. And this will give Republicans a line of attack in next year's midterm campaigns. Folks, this is all posturing. This is all politics, because the Republicans want to put Democrats in a corner so that they can have something to campaign with during next year's Senate midterm elections. And the Democrats know that if they can raise the debt limit, they can say, hey, we kept the economy running. We kept the stock market moving along quite nicely, which, by the way, the stock market did see a surge as a direct result of this announcement about the debt ceiling limit postponement, if you will, until December. Folks, this is all a game. This is all shenanigans. To be honest with you, it's all nonsense. It's all posturing by both parties, because, again, since the 1960s, we've raised the debt ceiling 80 times, and there is no doubt that we'll continue to raise it again. This is just essentially political shenanigans and haggling on both sides just to score some political points, get in the news, and to essentially shake up the Senate midterm elections in 2022, and also to fundraise with their constituents and say, hey, one side says, hey, we're being responsible. The other side says, hey, we can't allow the economy to tank. This is all a game, and lives hang in the balance. The American economy hangs in the balance. And this is the tragic reality of the state of politics in our country. Please click the like button. Please click subscribe. Please enable notifications. I work hard on this channel every single day to bring you the latest news and to bring you the truth wherever the truth might lead us. We work hard on this channel every single day. The production quality of the videos that you see, as you know, is outstanding, thanks to my video production team of Joseph and Jeanette, who are amazing at what they do. The thumbnails, a lot of effort goes into the creation and production of our thumbnails. Jay from our team, who's our designer, works hard on every single thumbnail. Thank you so much for watching. Please also follow us on Twitter. This right here is my Twitter feed. You'll be able to keep up with all the latest news on Twitter. Please follow me on Twitter. My Twitter handle is ignition_time. That's ignition_time. Thank you so much. I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next episode of Ignition Time. Take care. Bye.